Welcome, welcome. I almost said good morning. I'm so used to being on in the morning. I am so excited to be here with you guys at night. I wish you could see the sunset. It is absolutely beautiful right outside of my window. Your first time here, Phoenix, welcome. I'm usually on in the morning. This is an unusual event, so welcome, and I'm so glad that you're here. For those of you who are watching the replay, you are watching live Oracle and Energy readings with me, Erin, your friendly neighborhood energy alchemist. I'm also a frequency and clarity coach. And tonight I'm going to be offering clarity through the use of my intuitive tool of using tarot cards and tapping into your energy. These readings are paid readings. They are $25 US, and you can send that via Venmo or PayPal. The description of this video has direct links, or you can look it up yourself. Make sure you spell it correctly. Once you send payment, you make your way onto the list, and then I go in order of the list. What I am going to ask from everyone is your patience with me, because if I'm in the middle of a reading, I'm not going to see your comments. If you pay for a reading, I do ask that you stay here so that when it's your turn, that you're ready to go. That way we keep the line moving, all right? I already have a list going, and I will update everyone on that. I just want to let you know a couple quick announcements. Number one, all of your readings are going to be available on replay on my YouTube channel as soon as the live is done and processes, so that you can go back and rewatch it, because you can get a lot of information going back and watching it. I'm talking a lot. I'm speaking very quickly a lot of the time. I cannot control that, and once I disconnect from you, I don't remember anything that we talked about. So just letting you know. Hello, like a mom. I'm so glad that you're here, friend. All right. The other thing I wanted to let you guys know is I do have a brand new school platform, and I'm very excited about this. My school platform is a great place to go if you want to learn a little bit of information. It is structured just like a classroom. I currently have 2 short classes available to you, and they are free. One is called Everyday Energy, and one is about the Schumann Resonance. Those are free. I am currently working on, almost done with, a 10-unit class that will be, it's called the Foundations of Frequency, and it will cover everything from energy in your body to the basics of quantum mechanics. All right. So there's a link for that also in my link tree or in the description of this video. I do offer private sessions. They look very, very different than this, just so you know, okay? They look very different than this. They come in 30, 50, and 20-minute options. You can only get those through my website. Please keep that in mind. I'm not going to reach out to you. I'm not DMing you. I'm not sending you weird text messages and telling you to send me stuff on WhatsApp. It don't work that way. I'm not that person. So I have a list going already. So again, please be patient with me as I make my way through the list. We are going to be kind and respectful in this room at all times. I have several mods that come in and help me out. They have that blue name with the little wrench next to them. If you have a question, you can ask them. They will certainly be able to help you out, okay? So just to give you guys the list so far, Lita is up first, and then Marie, Corey, Crystal, and Brooke. That is the list that is open. That is the list so far. The list is still open, but please keep in mind it takes a minute for me to get through these readings, so you do have to be patient with me, but that is the list. Got Lita, Marie, Corey, Crystal, and Brooke. So I am looking for Lita. Hello, Mama Ocean. Hello, Patrice Sullivan. Hi, Brooke. I got you. You're on there, friend. Hello, Marie. Hello, Melissa. I'm so glad you're able to make it. Well, Monica, I'm here. Hi, Lita. I see you, friend. I got you. Lita Francis. I got you, my friend. Mary, I got you. You are on the list right after Brooke. All right, Lita. I'm very excited to read for you. All right, Lita, do me a favor. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down your toes. Release. Drop those shoulders, and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So Lita, you have this beautiful powdery energy. This is not a common thing I see. It's usually a sign of someone who has a soft personality, and that doesn't mean soft in a bad way. Soft as in what's a better word? Safe, maybe? I can't think of a good word. So what this is the feeling of is people feel safe around you. They feel safe telling you how they feel. Sometimes they probably volunteer more information than you actually want. They want to talk to you about their relationships, their jobs, their friends, all the stuff, right? It's as if you are a dumping ground for people's mind junk, right? This is because your energy gives off this very warm, loving feeling of, I believe you, I trust you, it's okay, and I love you, right? This is a hallmark sign of a strong empath, but what's interesting with your energy is the empathy is not your strongest clair at this moment, even though that's the first thing I received. Your clairs are all active, very active. Your empathy is very active, but the clair that's the strongest right now is hiding right up in that third eye. Hiding meaning it feels like it keeps pointing to a dial as if turn me up. So a lot of times when I see this, this is when you're starting to really make deep connections to your higher self and get those weird downloads that seem like they come out of nowhere and you're like, what was that? Was that me? Did I make that? What was that? Right? These little things start popping in and out. Okay, so the dial has been dialed up in your third eye. I don't necessarily get the impression that you're hearing voices, but you know, pay attention to the little things in the, like I keep saying, I always say the corner of your ear, the things you hear just off to the side, the voices that you can't quite make out, sounds like a radio on in another room, seeing things out of the corner of your eye. There's nothing for you to fear at all. This is an opening and expansion of your energy because you found a relatively good space of balance, it feels like. When I look at your root, it's in a state of expansion, so I will tell you, sometimes when your root's in a state of expansion, it can give you a little bit of a wobble down there. The wobble can sometimes bring up or trigger those insecurities, what's the word, imposter syndrome, right? So if this is clicked on and then imposter syndrome gets a kick, right? It's because, excuse me, it's because your imposter syndrome is like, we're going to go ahead and be done with this. I don't know why your imposter syndrome has a southern accent, but it does. And they're saying, we're going to go ahead and be done with this. All right, Lita, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. Friend, this is an excellent time for you to do some serious self-focus because the volume on that third eye has just got cranked all the way up. So it's not about throwing caution to the wind and pretending life isn't there. It's about mindfully focusing on something that helps you go in the direction you want to go, fitting it into the cracks in your day. Meditation doesn't have to be an hour long all at once. I actually meditate for 10 minutes at a time all day long, and it keeps my energy very stable and on a state of theta. This is what they're asking you to do, is to reincorporate these types of things into your daily life. They're acknowledging this restlessness you feel. Friend, this is a good sign. This is because you can feel where you're going, and where you're going is very close to where you are, but they are in dissonance because where you are, you've outgrown it. And it's like, okay, I can feel the dissonance, let's move it, right? My guides are asking you to reassess something that you have put to the side, especially related to this. Something that you received an inspiration on that you decided not to follow through on for whatever reason. I'm not asking you to throw your life away. I'm asking you to go ahead and check it out, right? Go ahead and check it out. Melissa, I see you. All right, my guides also want you to understand that what you're receiving from your higher self right now is a lot of mental clarity. So they want you to give yourself permission to at least write down what you're receiving. Even if you can't follow through with it right now, find a notebook or create a document or do something, a note on your phone, just to start getting what you're to start writing down what you're receiving. They're acknowledging that you feel frustrated, that things aren't moving as fast as maybe you want them to, but they also want you to understand that alignment takes time. And friend, you go in and out of alignment all day long because you're constantly surrounded by a feeling of chaos. So it's learning to focus inward during the chaos that helps you stay aligned more often, keeping you in that state of theta, moving more closely down the line of flow. My guides tell me you are a very generous and loving person. This is what I was talking about when I first tapped into your energy. That empathy, it is one of your strongest clairs, not your strongest right now, but one of the strongest. They're asking you to turn towards that inspiration, the thing that you pushed away, the thing that you decided not to pursue. They're asking you to go back to it. They're asking you to go back to it, okay? And just to round out your reading, remember I told you your imposter syndrome said we need to be done with this? It's time for your self-doubt to take a hike. You've got this. Why do you doubt what you're receiving? It comes through quickly. You register it. There's no reason for you to be questioning it. Goodness, Lita, thank you so much. Holy cow, there are so many comments. Lita, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. I hope it was helpful, friend. Make sure you go back and watch it so that you can get more from it, because I know I'm speaking quickly, but I can't really. Hey, Suravan Clarity, thank you. I can't slow down. There are spots still available. I'm going to update the list. Well, hey, I've never been live at night before, Deanna. All right, Lita. Thank you again for allowing me to read for you. Hi, Chrissy. I'm so glad that you're here. Yay. Thank you, friend. I appreciate you very, very much. All right. Just to update the list. Marie is next, and then Corey, Crystal, Brooke, Mary, Melissa, and Janice. That is the list. I do have space on the list. You do have to be patient with me as I make my way through the list. I started at 6, so 10 minutes ago. All right, Marie, you are up, friend. Come on down and say hello. You are next. Hi, Marie. I see you. Ms. Elliott, 4406. Love it. Yes, like a mom and Chrissy. Those are my 2 mods that are in here with me. If you have a question, please ask them. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. All right. Marie, you got a lot of blue in your energy. All right, Marie, here we go. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders, and please give me permission to have access to your energy. Okay, so Marie, the first thing I see when I looked at your energy, that sounds wrong. The first thing I saw when I looked at your energy was this very beautiful light blue color, okay? Light blue is the color of the throat chakra. The throat chakra is the bridge between the inner and outer worlds. When this is very active and projecting is when we are bringing into our physical 3D reality the manifestation of something we've been working towards, or something, right? Accidental or purposeful, either way. So to me, this immediately tells me you're in a state of physical manifestation. The next image I got was of a building that I was in the building, and the building was like old and crumbling and coming down. And I had this reluctance to leave this building. And I was admiring, like thinking, I used to love this wallpaper. I used to love this whatever. And I was walking through this building, and I feel as though I'm reluctant to leave this space. All right. And then it fast forwards, and now I'm outside, and I'm looking at this new building, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to go in there. This isn't what I wanted. And eventually I walk in, and suddenly I realize that I was judging this on something old, and I had outgrown this. So I understand that can be very confusing. So I'm just going to try to break that down. Number 1, the blue of the throat chakra tells me that you are projecting. There's something coming into your 3D reality that is the result of manifestation. This is something you have aligned yourself with in a resonant format to bring it into your 3D reality. The old building crumbling down typically is significant for something that you've been doing or been a part of, or something for a long time. It can be a job, a relationship, a house, literally. It can be something that you've been part of and have fond attachment to, right? That is kind of coming to an end. I had no sadness around it. Like, I didn't feel like this was a surprise. I almost felt as though the house had just gotten old and it was time to move on, but I was reluctant to do that. Going outside of the house and looking at the new building, I'm reluctant to go in. There's something about an expectation that's stuck here. I have an expectation in my head that it has to look like it did there, right? And because I have that expectation in my head, I'm holding myself back from walking into the new building. However, walking into the new building, it's like, oh my gosh, this is better than I thought. It's like the TARDIS, it's bigger on the inside. There's something going on that it's like, let go of your expectation. You've outgrown where you are, and you've manifested something better for yourself, but you're holding yourself where you are because of either obligation or expectation, and they're asking you to please put that to the side so that you can embrace whatever this new building is that's coming forward. And the new building could be an actual physical new building, like a house. It could be a new job, a new relationship, a new something that is better fit for you than where you were. But there's a reluctance to leave where you were, and this is your sort of push to come on, let's do that, all right? This is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said, Marie. The first thing they're doing is acknowledging the restlessness that you feel. That's because you're so close to where you're going that where you are is no longer resonant with your frequency, right? So you're getting the dissonance between them. It's like a blister on the back of your foot. My guides tell me during this time there's going to be some triggers that get pulled. That's because you have to let go of those triggers here so that you can resonate and sort of do this and match up with the other frequency. That's the manifestation on the outside. And I understand that whatever this is, you might not want to deal with it, but there's this feeling of you kind of have to do it, right? They tell me otherwise you're going to hold yourself in a place that's no longer suited for you. If you can allow yourself to believe that things are going to turn out in the best way they can and let go of an expectation that it has to look exactly a certain way, friend, it leads you right into a state of victory. This has a lot of ownership to it. This has a feeling of I did this, no one did this for me, no one saved me, I saved myself kind of feeling. My guides also want you to understand that whatever you're worried about with your family, it's going to be okay. I can't promise you they're going to win the lottery, but you're going to have food on the table and you're going to be okay. I know things are very scary right now, but they're telling me things are going to be okay. You are literally being offered an opportunity to walk into a state of renewal. Again, I don't know exactly what that looks like for you, but it looks like a brand new building. This tells me that it's more in alignment with the path that you've been looking for, that is resonant with the true version of you, right? But because you haven't been able to be really authentic with yourself for a hot minute, it's been like the path has been hidden. It's been there the whole time. My guides want you to understand there are some things you're going to have to confront here. Again, the idea of letting go of the old house and walking towards the new house. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you that if you can confront it, you will move into a space that is better. They also want you to understand that your third eye is the one that's in charge of this and it's guiding you. So they're really asking you to please release what you're holding on to. You're done with this. You know you're done with it. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. It's just the idea that you're sort of, for whatever reason, holding yourself here attached to it when you can really let go of it. Marie, thank you so much, friend. I hope that was helpful. Again, you guys, I apologize if I'm speaking very quickly. It's part of my channel. I cannot slow it down. I did get a payment from a Maria, and you are on the list, but this was for Marie. So Marie, thank you so much for reading for me. I appreciate you, friend, and I really hope it was helpful. Hi, Breakport. Hello. All right. Corey, you are up next. Corey is next. And then Crystal, Brooke, Mary, Melissa, Janice, Janet. 2 J's in a row, you guys. That is a high five from the universe. That is a high five from the universe. Janice, Janet, and then Maria. Hello. Corey, I'm so excited to read for you. Thank you so much for being here with me, my friend. I appreciate you. What does that say? Human design. Oh, hello. I believe I'm a manifesting projector, projecting manifester. I had my chart done by my friend Maureen. She did a great job. It was really long and I don't remember hardly any of it, but it was really interesting. Super cool. All right. Corey, I am so excited to read for you, friend. It was something with projecting. Projecting generator, maybe? I don't remember. I'd have to look, honestly. Something with projecting. There was 2 things and something with projecting. It was definitely anchored in being a teacher and needing to be invited to the conversation in some way. I wish I could remember. Now I can't remember. Sorry. I started a conversation I couldn't carry. I apologize. All right, Corey, I am excited to read for you, friend. You know you've been doing this. Okay, before I even fully tap into your energy, Corey, the image they give me immediately is of the wise old man, right? So this is a very common image for me, and it denotes a feeling of wisdom, and it's in no way a commentary on your gender or your age. It's like looking at the wise man, the professor, the teacher, right? There's this feeling I see almost immediately in your energy of an echo. So I'm going to go ahead and tap all the way in and ask your permission before I get too far down this road, okay? Here we go. Corey, do me a favor. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop those shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. All right. So, gosh, I wish you guys could see the sunset. So, Corey, squirrel, when I look at your energy, the very first thing I see is that you're sitting in a cloud of like violet and dark blue, a little bit of light blue, and a lot of pink, okay? So here's the thing that I see with that. The violet, the lilac-y violet color is the crown, the dark blue is the third eye. You have a lot of pink in that high heart, little bit of light blue in the throat. You're sitting in this cloud of your upper chakras just being super, super active. Not that that's a bad thing. I don't at all think that's a bad thing. I think that's where you sit centeredly, like that's your center is what it feels like, is from heart up. I do feel like that the lower chakras are active. They're just not getting my attention as much. I don't have a sense of being out of balance, which is interesting because usually when I have half the chakras displaying and half the chakras quiet, it gives me a sense of being out of balance. I don't have that with you, which is why I say I feel like this is more your center. This is more your balance, right? Now, getting back to the feeling of the echo in your energy. So what this looks like to me is if you were to look in a mirror and hold a mirror behind you and you see the echo, this is what I see when I look at your energetic signature, that you have your higher self. Let me rephrase. Your higher self has many incarnations that walk the similar path of wisdom that you do, okay? Meaning a life of learning dissemination, learning translation dissemination. They put translation in there for some reason. Maybe you change languages in somewhere, I don't know. The important thing here is that this is an echo. So what that tells me is that when you go into a deep meditative state, visit your Akashic records or anything like that, you can access this information from these other versions of your higher self as well, because as we all know, time is not linear. It's more like a spiral. And because everything's happening all at once, you can absolutely sort of tap into this, almost like remote viewing another version of your higher self, right? I can see that your lower three chakras have had a lot of exercise. Exercise is the word they're giving me, which is an interesting word, as if there's been a lot of stretch and contract, as if you've gone through periods where you were super active and then spiritually active and then back off and then spiritually active and then back off. But it feels like it's carved out a nice little space for you. Stable base is a better way to put that. My guys are like, that's rude. Say it nicer. Stable base. Okay, stable base. I feel like your hands are, okay, so they're showing me your hands, which is not unusual, especially, I mean, the name of your thing is human design, so I assume you do some sort of healing work. They're showing me your hands, but your hands are empty, as if waiting for a tool. But what I think needs to happen here is I think you're being asked to create something new based on the components that you've pulled together. So your hands are empty but not idle, right? So there's this sense of put the pieces together to create something new, something anchored in what you've learned, what you've experienced. Very interesting. Okay, Corey, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. The first thing they want you to understand is I understand that money for everybody right now is a hot mess, myself included. There's so much going on in the world and everything feels very unstable. What they want you to understand is you're gonna be okay. You might not win the lottery, but you're not gonna drown either. So do your best not to make your financial concerns the centerpiece of your dinner table. I'm not telling you to ignore it. I'm just telling you don't make it your dominating thought, right? My guides are acknowledging that you've done a lot of healing work on yourself. This is that root chakra that I saw doing a lot of expanding and contracting, as if doing healing, then backing down, doing healing, then backing down, right? They want you to understand that you're coming to a place where you're ready to physically manifest something into your reality related to this wisdom ability that you have. Again, that feeling of bringing something together and creating it something new, something that only you have, only you offer. Your understanding created this that reaches a different sort of group of people, this people who think the same way you do, right? Like there's this feeling of wanting to encourage you to create that thing. They tell me that once you start doing this, stuff starts to move pretty quickly, and they want you to be ready for that. What you're going to have to do is release your attachment to the idea that it has to look and feel a certain way. Instead of limiting yourself and telling yourself that it can only come in one way, they want you to put yourself out at wherever you feel comfortable and allow it to find you. Sit in the energy of, this is who I know that I am, and I'm just opening the doors to receive. This has a lot to do with your creativity. Again, I feel like it has something to do with building something of your own and a role shift, okay? Sacral chakra is about outward facing roles. Again, the idea of putting yourself in a role, a position to offer to someone, getting outside of your idea of, I am a this, a that, or whatever. Remember, in spirituality, there are no clear definitions, friend. Everything runs together like just soup. So you just have to go with, this is me, right? All right, they also want you to understand that now is the time for you to stay disciplined and not get frustrated with things, even though it doesn't feel like it's going exactly the way you want it to. It's absolutely moving in the right direction. You have to give it a few minutes, right? They want you to understand that there's a lot of inner strength that comes with this, but it also ends with a good state of progress. So I feel like you're kind of going through this period where they want you to get into creating something new for yourself, or creating something that only you can offer, like something through your worldview, and offer that, create a new path. It's hard to become a master of someone else's skill. So they're asking you to sort of bring all these pieces together and do that. Like, I don't know, that's what it looks like to me. Just do that. I don't know. Sometimes I wish they would be more clear. Corey, thank you very much, friend. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, Stacy. Projector. Yes, I'm a projector, and I thought it was manifesting projector. I don't remember now. Maureen would kill me if she thought I forgot. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate you very, very much. Crystal is up next. Good morning. See, I said it. Good morning. I'm so used to saying good morning. Crystal is up next. After Crystal is Brooke, then Mary, Melissa, two double. Oh, I didn't even realize that. We get a double M and then a double J. Oh my God. Okay. Crystal is up next. Then Brooke, Mary, Melissa, Janice, Janet, Maria, and Aaron. Love your name. Crystal, I got you, friend. I see you. Crystal Godfrey. Love it. 8531. I love it. Let me get a drink of water here. Oh. All right, Crystal. I love the mood lighting doing this at night. Like, it's quite lovely. All right, Crystal, here we go. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in. And release. Drop your shoulders. Please give me permission to have access to your energy. So Crystal, when I come into your energy, I have to be honest with you. The first thing I want to do is give you a hug. I feel like there's this quiet sadness. Okay, so the image they're giving me is someone standing on like a shoreline and looking out at the sea at like what looks like a boat that's sailing away. And there's this sense of saying goodbye to something or someone that I care about, and a sense of sadness that goes along with that, right? And also there's this underlying sense of, I don't know if regret's the right word, but questioning. Like, did I do the right thing? Did I say the right thing? Something like that, right? Now, I don't know that you're regretting a specific action, but that's the image they're giving me. And the feeling is I'm standing on the shore and I'm watching this, and I feel a sadness about this, as if something's moving away from me. And I almost feel like, saying it's more like an opportunity than like a person, right? Almost like I am telling myself, and I'm not, this is again, not a commentary on your age or anything, because I don't know anything about you, but I almost feel like I'm telling myself I've missed the boat, right? Like I've missed the boat. Thank you for that. That was helpful. I've missed the boat. That's what they're trying to say. But I want to tell you that there's another way. Like, I feel like you're telling yourself there's only one way to get somewhere. As if you want to go to this beautiful island and you tell yourself there's only one ferry and I have to take this boat to get there, right? And you run down to the dock, but life was lifing pretty hard, and you hit all the red lights and spilled your coffee and all the stuff, and you get there and the boat's gone, and there's this sadness of, I missed the boat, right? But I have this very clear feeling that, friend, you haven't missed anything. There's a different way. There's a different way. You have to let go of the feeling of lack or sadness around it. It's okay to be sad, and I want you to process your sadness, but don't live there. Don't tell yourself there's only one way things can happen. There's a road that will get you there. And while it may look different, and while it may take longer or feel like it takes longer, it will still get you there. You haven't missed anything. And I keep wanting to say that over and over and over again. You haven't missed anything. You haven't missed anything. You haven't missed anything. Like, it's okay. I just keep wanting to say it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right, Crystal, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I have already said. First of all, they want you to understand that your intuition is there. It's connected. It's 100% there. I understand that sometimes it can feel like you're not hearing it, right? But that's only because you have a lot going on around you that's sort of pulling your attention away. And it's not because your source or anything is quiet. It's there. My guides are asking you to reassess where you're spending your focus and focus a little bit more inward. Turn the volume back up on this. They want you to understand that you haven't missed anything. There is a way there. Whatever this is that you feel like you've missed the boat on, there's a different way there. But you have to get out of your head, right? You have to stop telling yourself that it has to look one way or that it can only be one way. None of those things are going to work for you. So they're asking you to get out of your head, stop telling yourself that you missed the only way that it would work. And especially letting go of controlling the idea that it has to look that way. They're asking you instead to embrace something that helps you feel creative. Get into that feeling of flow, that feeling of, just find that joy again, because where you want to go is you're connecting it with a feeling of joy. So you have to find other ways to feel joy to get the momentum going again, to show you the direction. Then the opportunity, the roads, the street signs, whatever, the GPS turns on and you start to see the opportunity to go in that direction. They tell me you will get there. You will make progress and you will get there. But right now, things in your head are a little bit clouded because you're telling yourself that you've missed a boat on something. But they're telling me that the more you allow yourself to be who you truly are, and the more you allow yourself to just listen to that third eye and stop telling yourself that you missed the boat, the more you can allow your higher self to come forward and guide you through inspired action and inspired action and synchronicities. Wow, Melissa, that's crazy. Crystal, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. I got distracted for a second by the comments. That was quite a story. Crystal, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Thank you, friend. I hope it was helpful. I keep wanting to tell you, you haven't missed anything. So I don't know what it is. But I keep wanting to say, don't tell yourself you missed the boat, because you didn't. You didn't. There's another way. Just take a car. It's okay. It's okay. You know how to drive. You'll be fine. I don't mean to minimize it, but that's what they're giving me. I apologize. All right. Just going to update the list right quick. Brooke, you are up next. And then Mary, then Melissa, Janice, Janet, Maria, Erin, Cindy, and Kristen. That is the list. Please, please be patient with me as I make my way through the list. No, it's not too late. It is, I have a few people on the list. So if you don't mind waiting, do me a favor. If you're enjoying this live, please like the live. It does help me overall. Hi, Tiffany. I am not full. All right, Brooke, you are up next. Yes, readings are $25 US. Venmo and PayPal are available. If you go to the description of the video, it'll have a link, or you can look me up. That's how that works. Thank you, like mama. Oh, you've had 2 days off in a row. Wow. I am still doing Venmo. Brooke, is that you? There you are. Another day off tomorrow. Is that you, Brooke? You're the Brooke who, yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure. All right. You got a lot of yellow in your energy. I mean, I know your little icon is yellow, but you got a lot of yellow in your energy. All right. Here we go, friend. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So there's two colors. There's a lot of yellow, but there's a lot of orange in there too. All right. So the very first thing I see when I come into your energy is someone wearing a jacket that's too tight in the shoulders. Kind of like if you were to go like this, that you would rip the back, right? So usually when I see clothing that is fitting too tightly like this, it's a sign of having outgrown a role that you play. This is like a name tag that you wear. Coupling that with the orange that I see of your sacral chakra and the yellow of your solar plexus, I'm going to have to say, yeah, I see that. All right. So what this looks like, friend, is it looks like some role that you fulfill, some name tag you wear, you have outgrown it. It's become almost, it feels tight and constricting. I don't know what role it is, and I don't know what happened to get you to the fact that you outgrew it. But there's a sense of understanding that I've outgrown it, but not feeling like I have a whole ton of different coats to pick from. You know what I mean? Like I almost feel like there's an obligation. I have to keep wearing this stupid coat even though it doesn't fit. Like that's kind of the feeling I have, like this frustrated feeling. This is where your solar plexus sort of kicks in and starts to push forward. There's this sense of creativity that feels almost, I don't want to say stuck, but untapped is a better word. It feels as if you have something very creative, or you could be something about creativity that it's like if you tapped into this, that it would open a different doorway. That it seems like you're very logically focused a lot of the time. And so when we get very black and white and logic focused in our thinking, we can lose track of that softer side of us. Not calling you softer or anything like that. But that creative side, it can get lost. It can really get lost when we're so focused on the things we have to do, right? And there's the sense of wanting you to bring that creative energy back, just because it opens up different doorways and gets your thoughts moving in a different direction. It helps move you around the feeling of like I don't want to say a block because that's wrong, but momentum going in the direction you don't want to go, and help move the momentum in the other direction. You have to open up that and kind of let go of the resistance, which comes from being so physically focused and feeling like, oh, I don't like this, I have all this obligation, blah, 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 the weight, right? You have to find reasons to feel happy throughout your day, even if you're aggravated with the situation, right? And some days, I'll tell you, there have been plenty of days where the thing that I'm focused on the most is the fact that my iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts didn't taste like a hot burned mess. And that's rare. So when that happens, happy day, you know what I mean? And sometimes that's where I focus, because my day is just, ugh. I'm getting a lot of people on the list. I only have 3 spots left, you guys. Please be patient with me. All right, Brooke, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They want you to understand that you know that you've outgrown this role. They know that. They know that you know, and they're calling you out on it, and they're saying, friend, you know this. They're also saying, please turn towards your inspiration. You've spent a lot of time doing obligation, and now they're asking you to focus on inspiration. This may take a little bit of introspection, and that means talking yourself out of jumping off the ledge, because you're going to finally embrace this side of yourself, right? It's not about throwing your life away or doing anything rash. It's about embracing something inspired in small steps to lead you to bigger opportunities, so that you can naturally move into this next thing. It's not about big jerky movements. It's about natural evolution. That's what manifestation is about alignment, not forcement. That's not a word. My guide wants you to understand that you have a good, strong connection to your higher self. You do. But they're asking you to trust it right now, okay? They are also acknowledging that frustration that I talked about, that feeling of, I feel like I don't have any other roles to choose from. But they're telling you that this is something that is just imbalanced in your energy, and it's because of your attention and something you're telling yourself. Again, they're asking you to reevaluate some of the definitions or ideas of what you want to do. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of wanting you to understand that the coats you see in the closet are not the only coats in the world. Like, you can totally pick a whole different wardrobe if you wanted to. And when you do, it opens up the path in front of you. It helps you to see the world through rose-colored glasses, just like Source intended, getting you to open your root and expand your base so that you can literally walk into a brighter future full of transformation. But they're asking you to reach for your inspiration. That's what's going to help you see most clearly where you want to go, and it will lead to a sense of victory. It will absolutely lead to a sense of victory. So I got a payment from someone, I think their name is pronounced Nyasha. I do not do love readings, and I am more than happy to refund you if you would like. If you would like a full reading, I'm happy to do that for you, but it is just a hot minute of a wait. Brooke, thank you very much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Boy, that one had a lot of heat on it. Mary, you are up next. You know when you wear glasses and you sweat and your glasses are all running down your face? It's like, ugh, grody. Mary, you are up next, friend. Come on down and say hello. Whew. Hello, friend. I see you. Or when they fog. Yeah, that's also super unhelpful. All right, Mary. I got you, friend. I am excited to read for you. I gotta shuffle one more time. All right, Mary. Here we go. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in, all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop those shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. Mary, you have a lot of orange in yours too. All right, so Mary, when I come into your energy, the very first thing I see is a lovely scene of someone sitting, again, not a commentary on age at all, of someone sitting on a front porch of a house, and they're in a like lovely, comfortable rocking chair. They have a cup of something warm, and they're looking out at a beautiful sunset that is across a big open green field. There is so much symbolism in here, and we will get to that. I want you to understand that the first thing I feel is a sense of satisfaction and joy. I feel content is a good word. I feel happy to be where I am. I feel as if I'm enjoying looking at these things around me, okay? That's the very first thing that comes through. The other thing I want to tell you is the sunset is orange in color, this very fiery, beautiful orange color. There's no angst or anger in it. It is just a natural sunset, okay? So, orange is the color of the sacral chakra. This is the home of the name tags we wear and the relationships that form as the result of this. Seeing this color in a sunset indicates to me that there is an ending of a cycle happening in your reality, your physical reality. Now, sometimes this can be changing jobs, changing status of relationship, your kids moving in, your kids moving out, having kids, you know, there's 1,000 reasons that we can be going through this. It is a natural feeling transition like a sunset. There is no animosity, anger, frustration. It feels like the next natural step for me, right? The house indicates a comfort zone, okay? The house, when we're in the house, when my guides show me someone in the house, it indicates that they are in their comfort zone and comfortable where they are. The fact that you are on the front porch indicates to me that you're ready for what comes next, right? You're out there, you're ready. You're enjoying where you are, but you're ready for what comes next. And that's good because the sunset indicates that there is definitely something coming next. I can't see what it is, but I can tell you it is across a field of green. Green is the color of the heart. It is also the color of healing. The big open field is a sign of potential. So I don't know if this is healing that you are doing on yourself, healing that you are helping others with. I cannot tell you, but it's there. So there's so much going on in here. It feels like a cycle, something is ending, a role is ending very naturally, and though it might be a little bittersweet, it feels like it was the next natural thing and you're moving into the next stage for yourself. This is a new role that comes forward. I cannot see it yet because the sun hasn't set on this one yet, but it feels good in welcoming it. I do feel like you're going to have to probably move outside of your comfort zone because you're already on the front porch of the house, which is typically an indicator that you're ready to move outside of your comfort zone. Please understand that doesn't always come in big booming signs from source, right? This can be little tiny opportunities that are presented to you. Hey, I have a friend that's giving a charity event and they want some help. Do you want to help? This is where you practice saying yes more often. Not to things that you're uncomfortable with, like not to things that you're wildly uncomfortable with. Let's just rephrase. Not to things that you're wildly uncomfortable with. But if the whole reason that you're saying no is just because you're kind of honestly a little bit lazy, then maybe we need to reconsider that. All right? Daniel, I got you, friend. All right, I will update my list in just a moment, you guys. I only have 2 spots left, though. All right, Mary, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. Things are changing in your physical world. This is the role ending that I told you about, the change, the movement forward, the sunset. This is the confirmation of that. Something in your physical environment is moving forward and changing. This will lead to a new beginning for you. My guides are telling me that it may require you to evaluate yourself and where you sit in your comfort zone because you might be asked to move outside of that. But this is also the ending of a karmic cycle. So you're tying up some loose ends with whatever this sunset is, and you're ready to move into whatever comes next. My guys want you to understand that your higher self, you and your higher self, you've got a nice connection. Like, they're totally ready for it. So trust what you're receiving is the big thing here. When you get those little tiny nudges, those little tiny invitations, they want you to follow through with that. My guides tell me this is a time of learning empowerment where you go through your inspired action will find the right path for yourself. It's not that anyone's giving it to you or defining it for you. This is when you learn to believe in yourself, friend. My guides tell me there may be a little bit of rumble in that route as you start to move into this next phase because stepping outside of your comfort zone is going to make you feel a little bit vulnerable. But as you step outside of that comfort zone, every step you take is going to help you to see the world through the lenses you intended to see it through. And it opens doors for you. But again, it's this feeling of let this, whatever this is, come to a natural end. And then when the opportunities start to present themselves small, even though they're small, if it's just a little bit outside of your comfort zone, and maybe reevaluate. Valerie, unfortunately, I don't do direct love questions. I don't feel like it's any of my business. So I'm not going to meddle in your love life. I apologize. All right. Mary, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate you very, very much. Mary, I literally just did your whole reading. I hope you got it. I hope you got it, Mary, because it's gone now. I just did the whole reading. I just saw your comment that says, I'm ready. Thank you. I hope that meant you're ready for what comes next. It's like I'm confused. I hope it's okay. Woo. All right, Mary, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let us update the list, all right? Please be patient with me if you are on the list. I truly appreciate your patience. Melissa is up next, and then Janice, Janet, Maria, Erin, love your name, Cindy, Kristen, Deb, Stacy, Nyasha, unless you want a love reading, and then I'm happy to refund that to you, Carmen, and Daniel. So again, I have a bit of a list. Please be patient with me. Please be patient. All right, Melissa, you are up next. Come on down. Okay, good, Mary. Whew. I was like, oh my goodness. Holy moly, I hope she got that. Hello, friend. I'm excited to tap into your energy and see what's going on with all this stuff, right? Melissa, let's see. You guys, I've been using this frequency device. This thing, I think this thing works. Like, it got rid of my headache, Chrissy. It got rid of my headache. All right, Melissa. You have a lot of red in your energy. I think that's an airplane. Is that an airplane? It doesn't look like it's moving, but it could be coming towards me. Sorry. All right. All right, Melissa, here we go. Do me a favor, friend. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. You have a lot of red in your energy. Okay, so what your energy looks like it's doing to me, friend, is attuning itself. So when your energy is attuning, it's kind of like it goes through this expansion contraction phase, right? And this is kind of like carving space out for itself. So if you imagine your chakra, let's say your root chakra looks like this, as you're going through this expansion contraction, it's sort of doing like this. And every time it does this, it bumps up against the edges of your perceptive abilities, your current perceptive abilities. Chelsea, I see you. One spot left. It bumps up against your perception, your perceptive abilities, like the very edges. So you start picking up things and it starts affecting things around you, right? So this is a clear sign of expansion. What surprised me is that it's coming from your root. I actually expected to see this in your third eye, but no, friend, this is in your root. This is a bigger change than that. So I know that everybody wants their third eye to be what expands, but friend, you have to expand your root first. If the base of the tree is not large enough, the top of the tree will fall, right? So what's happening is you are expanding your base. That tells me that this is an exponential push, not just a little bump, not just a little thing. This is like a boom, like a level up is what it feels like. That said, it's not going to be instant. Your root has to stabilize. So you may also be triggered a lot in the next few days to weeks. As each of these triggers comes up, you want to do yourself a favor and to try your best to respond rather than react. Looking at the common thread that runs between them. What are you trying to let go of in this frequency range so that you can move forward, right? Also, grounding will be very, very helpful to help release the old stuff that's seeing itself out. You may also get a little bit of ascension sickness. This can show up in a lot of different ways. Physically, it can be a runny nose, a headache, a sore back, feeling like you have the flu out of nowhere and then it's gone out of nowhere, all those sorts of things. There's a lot happening in your biofield, so just FYI on that one. Maybe just eat some vegetables in the next few days. You know what I'm saying. All right, Melissa. This is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. You, my friend, are going through a state of renewal of literally your root chakra, exactly what I was saying. My friend, this is a result of you coming into partnership with your higher self and creating a communication or establishing a communication that allows for greater flow of information. My guides tell me this is the result of self-focus and it brings you into a state of expansion, just like I said. What my guides want you to understand is it's going to bring up some inner conflicts, right? These triggers are going to be brought to the surface. The reason is you cannot move into balance until you let them go, because they're holding you where you are. They're like sandbags on an air balloon. You need to let those suckers go, dealing with them, not pushing them away and ignoring them. Okay, my guides tell me you may not win the lottery, but everything's going to be okay financially as long as you stay heart-centered. This usually comes up when there's an opportunity that may be presented to you financially that may require a little bit of heartstrings. So sometimes I see this when people are asked to volunteer somewhere. And, if you make your living doing something, like if you're a hairdresser and someone says, hey, I'm doing a charity event, can you come donate your time? And yes, you want to donate your time. At the same time, you're like, man, I could really use the money. But you do the donation anyway. And then it ends up with like a flood of new clients. It's something like that. And I know it sounds weird, but it's something like that. My guides also want you to let go of these things that are getting brought to the surface, because this is helping you to keep yourself in a state of alignment. My guides tell me that now is the time to focus in and ask yourself, where do you want to go? And where do you want to see yourself? What kind of experience do you want to have? And start taking steps in that direction, especially as that root is going like this, okay? Mary, well, thank you. Melissa, thank you very much, friend. I appreciate you, and I hope that was helpful. I am considering doing this once a week, maybe, or once every other Wednesday night. I have to be careful, because if I have a full day with clients, I definitely cannot do it, because I have to start with fresh energy, which is why I usually do them in the morning. But I wanted to come on at night. Melissa, thank you so much, friend. I appreciate you. All right, Janice, you are up next, friend. Janice is next, and then Janet. Janice, and then Janet. Maria, Erin, Cindy, Kristen, Deb, Stacy, Nyasha, Carmen, Daniel, and Chelsea. Chelsea. I never know if it's Chelsea or Chelsea. Hi, Janice. Well, thank you, friend. Well, I'm so happy that you're here too, Mama Ocean. Just remember, you guys, if you do decide to get a private reading, they look incredibly different than this. They're very conversation-based, okay? All right, Janice, here we go. All right. Do me a favor, Janice. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. So, Janice, when I come into your energy, the color that stands out the most for me is that blue, light blue of the throat chakra. But it feels different than projection mode. It feels more like finding its legs mode, okay? So the throat is an interesting chakra because this is where we build the bridge between our inner and outer worlds and manifest into our 3D reality, right? Through inspired action. But it's also where our voice is held, where we speak for ourselves, where we speak up. And there's something going on in here as if there's old remnants of blockages that are starting to come up to get out. Like I keep feeling like I need to cough. Like there's phlegm in here and I need to get it out. This feels like old stuff. Like they keep showing me images of like someone who's younger. So I don't know if this was your childhood when you were in high school or something, but there's this sense of either not feeling like I was understood, not feeling like I could speak up, or not feeling like I was being heard. Something about your voice being held back. And it feels like you at some point just resigned yourself to it, said, okay, well, this is just how it is. And so you turned that down. And it feels as if over the last maybe year or two, something has shifted there to bring it more to the surface. So what this is telling me is that you're coming into this state where it's time to find your voice again. And I know that that can be very scary, especially when you're used to being judged all the time for everything that you think you're saying and you feel like you're being misheard or miscommunicated or something. Your voice is precious. It carries weight. It matters. I understand the feeling of stumbling over your words. I do it all the time. But don't hold back on what you have to say just because it might take you a few minutes longer to say it or to formulate what you want to say. But there's this sense of you're standing right on this threshold of reclaiming like some power in your voice. And sometimes I see this with people who had, and this is no commentary on anybody's parents, but who had parents who maybe were a little overbearing or had spouses who were a little overbearing or had family who was a little overbearing, something. And your voice was always made small, well, mainly because theirs was so big, right? And there's a shift that happened, and sometimes this is getting space between you and that those other people, I don't know, but there's this sense of standing on the threshold and you're being asked to trust your voice and understand. I know that there's fear about being judged, and I want to assure you people are going to judge you, absolutely. But it's your decision whether you allow that to bother you or not, because their opinion of you, quite honestly, is none of your business, because it's not going to change anything about you. And if it does, then that requires further examination of you. Like, why are you willing to mold yourself to someone else's fleeting opinion of you? And an uninformed and fleeting opinion of you, okay? I feel like I just lectured you. I apologize, Janice. This is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. My guides want you to understand that they recognize that you're a very generous person. You do a lot for a lot of people. They also want you to understand that you have a good, strong connection to your higher self, and it's definitely there. But they also need you to start making better decisions, especially around speaking up and speaking out for yourself, making your voice heard, putting your opinion out there. Whatever it is, they're encouraging you to do this, right? This is what's going to put you back into a state of balance, and it brings up with it a sense of inner peace. My guides want you to reassess how you look at yourself and how you sort of see your voice in the world, because it's as if you've reduced it when you should be boosting, right? My guides want you to understand that you have a good, strong connection to the spiritual side of things. You really do. But you have to confront the idea that your voice doesn't matter, because it does. It carries weight. Everything you say matters. And I understand that there's going to be plenty of times where it's not worth the argument, right? But you can't let someone speak over you. You can't let someone put their opinion in place of yours and then say that's okay, because it's not. You're valuable and it matters. It just does. They tell me that once you start doing this, once you start speaking up, not everyone's going to like it, of course. There's going to be plenty of people who don't like that you aren't bending the knee to them. That's their problem. But it brings in lots and lots of changes, and those changes start to happen quickly, and you will see them playing out in your physical environment. This isn't just something like, oh, it'll, you'll have great dreams. You might have great dreams, but this is your physical environment I'm talking about. This is physical changes in the world around you when you start speaking up and speaking out for yourself. And yes, there will be people who don't like it, and absolutely someone's going to judge you. Let them, right? To borrow a phrase, let them. Well, thank you. I love my shirt too. Hi, Michael. Thank you. Janice, thank you so much, friend, for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope it was helpful. Use your voice, friend. Use your voice. All right, Janet is up next. Janet is up next. You guys have plans on Halloween night? Miss Photo, I love it. I'm actually going to be doing tarot readings at the bar where my niece works. In person. Super fun. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. They're going to have a costume contest and all kinds of stuff. All right, trick-or-treating. Oh, I hope it's warm where you are. It's going to be freezing here. So I do not miss those days of taking my kids trick-or-treating when it was just deadly cold. Halloween in Illinois, at least where I am, is not warm. All right, Janet. My dad's sister's name is Janet. I guess I could just say my aunt's name is Janet. Oh, you're so cute. All right, Janet, here we go. Oh, nice. All right, Janet, Miss Photo 70. I'm ready, friend. Here we go. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. Please give me permission to have access to your energy. It is very interesting, your energy, Janet. First thing I saw was a swirl of purple sparkles, which I love. The next thing I saw were these very piercing eyes, and I don't know what color eyes you have. I have no idea, and this is not even to say that you have blue eyes, but the eyes being shown to me is a sense of seeing. Like you're seeing, right? So the purple swirl with the sparkles, I want to go back to that because that is an indication of an open crown. Sparkles are always an indication of a feeling of magic. Your connection is magical, my friend. You see clearly is what they're telling me. Your eyes, the eyes that they're showing me are white, like a whiteout. So my guides always speak to me in movie scenes and metaphors, right? So it's like you would see someone in a movie, their eyes go white and they're channeling or whatever. Your connection they're showing me is very, very strong. I think it comes through in ways that you don't even register as being part of your connection. As if you just, like my ears are literally itching like crazy right now. Like you just take for granted that these things happen for everybody, and that's simply not the case. I think because it's been part of your life for your whole life, these small little things, these little pieces of intuition and connection, that just the knowing something or knowing if someone's lying to you just by being in the space with them, there's something there and it's been there your whole life. And I feel like some of it's been written off as something else. And I almost feel like maybe you thought I mean, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth or speculate, but maybe you thought you had like depression or something, or somebody was telling you, oh, you're making that up or something, and you thought, am I crazy? Nope, nope, you're not. You definitely have this connection. There's a lot of feel of magic to your energy, which tells me that a lot of things happen sort of magically. Like suddenly, you know, you think of someone and someone calls and they call you, or you know, you're suddenly manifesting things into your reality that you just thought about the other day. You know, there's all these little feels in there of like little pieces of magic, especially around that crown. They're telling me that this has been part of your energy since you were young, that this little piece of it never got turned off. I do feel like it's widening and getting broader, but because it's always been sort of open, this is not going to be like a big giant flashing sign in the sky. This is going to be something much more natural for you because the door has always sort of been open. They're just asking you to listen to it. They keep giving me closed eyes like taking a nap or a dream state, so pay attention to your dreams. Don't get tangled up in the details, all right? Don't drive yourself crazy doing that, but it's as if they're telling me you have the least resistance to receiving when you're in the dream state, because you're still a little bit physically focused on certain things and beliefs that you have, and that's totally fine. I think you're working through them, and that's normal and natural, but they can reach you through your dream state where you have little to no resistance. So they're asking you to make sure you're paying attention to that, okay? Just not, you know, don't get tangled up. Just make sure you're paying attention to it, okay? Janet, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything I've already said. You, my friend, are drawing together all the cooperative components you will need to sort of establish and open up this big open channel of communication that you have. This is also a sign for me that your guides are like, yeah, friend, we're ready. Yeah. All right, so they want to acknowledge this little bit of feeling of restlessness in your energy. This is because you're closer to where you're going than where you are, and you're feeling that little bit of rub in the energetic process. This is like wearing a shoe that's just a little bit too tight, can give you a blister. As you start to move forward, that restlessness will die down. They want to confirm for me that your higher self is fully on board with this and that you are absolutely bringing this down into your 3D environment. What does that mean? It means it's time to step outside of your comfort zone and try doing something different, embracing the magical side of yourself a little bit more. This is going to make your heart happy. And when this makes your heart happy, it's going to change your whole biofield. And then you're going to start to see things through those rose-colored glasses. You see the chain of events? My guides want you to understand they know that you questioned yourself, or that you continue to question yourself. They know that. But they also want you to understand that this is who you are, and you have to allow this piece of yourself to come forward and stop trying to control what it looks like. Stop telling yourself because it doesn't look the same for someone else as it does for you that you are wrong. What if they're wrong? What if it's just different, right? My guides are asking you to put your attention on things that help you feel better. Don't always focus on the things that draw you down, and get out of your head. You spend a lot of time in there. All right? My guides tell me that you're on a road, right? This is the Fool telling me that you're starting out on a new journey, but you have to step a little bit outside of that comfort zone, right? This channel is opening up nice and wide for you, Janet. I'm very excited for you. Priyanka, I'm so sorry. I cannot take payment through YouTube. I have said that many times before. I apologize. If I could refund that to you, I would. Readings are $25 US. Venmo and PayPal are the payment methods. I literally only have one spot left. I only have one spot left. Hi, Wade. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate you very, very much. I apologize. I wish I could. YouTube gets 48% of everything you send me. So I apologize. All right. Maria, you are up next. Come on down and say hello. If you want to hang out, Priyanka, I can pull a few cards for you, but I do have a pretty long list. But if you hang out, I can do it after Chelsea. Maria, say hello. You are up next, friend. Maria is next, and after Maria is Erin, then Cindy. Erin, I love your name. Then Cindy, then Kristen, Deb, Stacy, Nyasha, Carmen, Daniel, and Chelsea. Hello, Maria. I am so excited to read for you. You guys remember that your reading will be up on my YouTube channel. You should go back and watch it because it's a lot of information, and you can get more from it each time you watch it. So it'll be up on my channel. I do my best. I do my best. I have several mods that are awesome. All right, Maria. Showing me dynamite. All right, here we go. Do me a favor, Maria. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So, Maria, I have to be honest with you. The images they're giving me as I'm tapping into your energy, I saw dynamite, I saw chili peppers, I saw fire. I'm getting a lot of hot, spicy in your energy, friend. And I don't think this is a bad thing, but your energy is definitely fiery. When I look at your energy, it has the sense of a fire burning in a furnace, as if there's this passion inside of you that's constantly burning. And I understand that sometimes it can be misdirected or misinterpreted or whatever, but I do feel like that if you were to take all that fire and all that passion and direct it in one place, you would literally be unstoppable. The problem seems to be scatteredness, or sometimes it's that feeling of I start to follow or I start to go with the passion and then something happens and I have to back down, or someone makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong or something. There's always something that seems to put the fire out for some reason. And sometimes it might be as simple as you just have a lot of life happening and you have a lot of stuff you got to focus on, and that's where your attention's at, right? Like, it's not a bad thing. That's life. That's how it works. But this fire that you have, I really feel if you could direct it all purposely in one direction towards something that you're doing, not because you have to, but because it gives you a sense of joy and feeds the passion, then it would open doors for you and you would be unstoppable. Like, if you wanted to start a business, you could, but you have to get yourself together. You're like scattered. They're showing me a lot of scattered feel. Like, energy's everywhere, you know? You got to pull yourself together and focus, and then this will open doors for you and get things moving, and your momentum will be fast because you have so much fire in your system. It's like putting a match to the flame, right? Like, it'll just take off. But again, there's a lot of scattered, like you're focused here, you're focused here, you're focused here, you're focused here, and there's a lot of I have to, or obligation. And I understand there's a lot of obligation in these lives, but I think for most of us, at least, if we're honest with ourselves, there's plenty of things that we do that are sort of time wasters, and we could better utilize that time, but we're kind of lazy. And I'm not speaking about you specifically, but maybe me and everybody else. Just saying. All right, Maria, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They're asking you to confront this idea that you can't do something, or to put yourself more together. If you can follow through with these inspirations and these inspired pursuits, friend, things are going to open for you like you can't even perceive. Like, you don't even know how well the doors will open for you, but you have to go after it. You have to follow it, okay? My guides tell me that you're a little bit reluctant to do this, and maybe that's because every time you try to do it, somebody says something or something doesn't work out or something like that, but they're telling me to tell you to release that, to move on. It's time to start doing it anyway, following that sense of passion. This may require you to do a little bit of evaluation of yourself, just like, what do you actually want? And usually, I'll tell you something, when I have private clients and I ask them, what do you want? Most of the time they give me a list of the stuff they don't want. Friend, that is a problem. You got to figure out what you actually want and start taking actual steps in that direction. This is going to require a little bit of patience from you, just because everything takes some time, but the more you reach for that enthusiasm, the more things will start to change for you. They tell me that you are standing on a field of potential. All that fire in your energy is full of potential. But you gotta let it out. You gotta pick a direction and go in that direction. They're asking you to invite your intuition to lead the way, and this will lead to a sense of empowerment, a sense of I did it, I'm doing what's right for me, and refinding that sense of belief. But again, I'm telling you, Maria, that fire in your energy, it needs direction. But once you give it direction, it's like you're unstoppable. Maria, thank you, friend. Thank you, thank you. I hope that was helpful, friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Something literally bit me while I've been sitting here. See, I have a little bump there. I'm literally sitting here. What is that? I don't know. Thank you, Maria. All right, Aaron, you are up next. Love your name, by the way. Great name. Curious, is your middle name Marie or Nicole? Those are the two common middle names that go with Aaron, I have noticed. Aaron, you are next. After Aaron is Cindy, then Kristen, Deb, Stacy, Nyasha, Carmen, Daniel, and Chelsea. Aaron is Mama Ocean. Hello, friend. I am excited to read for you. Oh, what is that? You guys see that? Like, I'm sitting here. Look at that. Elizabeth. Oh, interesting. I've never met an Aaron Elizabeth. So fun. All right. Here we go, Aaron. All right, Aaron, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. All right, so Aaron, when I look at you, the first thing I see is a house full of boxes, and then I see a woman with a red dress in the house. Again, my guides speak to me in movie scenes and metaphors. I'll explain everything after I receive all the images, okay? So I see a house full of boxes and a woman in a red dress. She's walking around, she's packing these boxes. Front door is open. There's a seat, like outdoors. I can see outdoors. I don't know if it's frustration I'm feeling or anxiousness. There's a sense in here of you know, that feeling that and I can't tell if it's frustration or anxiousness. Like I'm anxious, I need to get this done, or I'm frustrated that I have to get this done. Something going on in there, and I don't know that it's necessarily the packing of the boxes that's the issue. I feel like there's an expectation that wasn't met with this. Okay. All right. So going backwards. The house indicates comfort zone. All right. So when I am looking at someone inside a house, that means they're pretty anchored in their comfort zone. They're good where they are. When I look at you, you're in the house, but you're definitely not anchored in there. You're definitely not anchored in there. Okay. There's a sense of packing boxes and getting ready to move. Because you're wearing a red dress, this also is an indication of the root being part of this. So your root must be expanding to accommodate whatever you are moving to. The root expanding can often trigger us or bring up a lot of triggers, because vibrationally you can't rise to the next level of vibration when you're holding on to the same weights that you've had here. So as you start to move into the next phase, these triggers go off, and maybe that's where the frustration's coming from. Like there's a bunch of triggers that get set off or something, but the reason they get set off is so that you can acknowledge and work through them, and so that you can move on to what comes next. Again, the feeling packing boxes. I also have this sense of an expectation, as if I didn't expect it to be so soon or so quick, or something. Like I have a friend who put her house on the market and sold it in like 3 weeks, and she was not at all prepared. You know what I mean? Like she didn't think it was going to sell in 3 weeks, and that feeling of anxious frustration of, oh my gosh, this is what I wanted, but I didn't expect it this quick, that kind of thing. That's sort of the feeling that I have. So it's almost as if the opportunity for you to move outside of your comfort zone comes quicker and faster than you expected, and it creates a sense of frustration. But you were ready to go, you just weren't quite all the way there, right? I do feel like whatever this is that's presenting itself, whether it's a physical opportunity, someone saying, hey, come do this, or something metaphysical, is you're being asked to follow it for sure. Don't worry about packing the house. You can always come back later, is kind of the feeling I have. Very interesting. All right, Aaron. This is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. First of all, they're confirming that your root is absolutely doing a whole lot of expansion right now, and this can cause a little bit of a wobble and a rumble, right? They want you to also understand that I know you might be worried about the financial aspects of things, but they want you to be, you're going to be okay. You might not win the lottery, but you're going to be okay financially. They want to tell you that there is a path for you. The Fool is an indication of starting a new journey. You've packed your boxes. So when the opportunity arises, stop coming up with excuses for reasons you can't go. I mean, I know there's real legitimate reasons, but the fact that you haven't packed all your knickknacks is not an excuse. My guides tell me that this is part of your karmic process, that you're tying up some sort of loose end in your karma, and perhaps it's related to following through or leaving that comfort zone and actually leaving behind these things that you want to leave behind. They also let you know that this brings forward a brand new beginning for you, where you can release some of these burdens that you're dragging around with you. This is something that physically manifests into your physical environment, and they mean that so strongly, they said it twice. All right? They tell me that you are pulling together the cooperative components that are necessary to help you be successful on whatever this next stage is, but it's going to bring up some triggers and some conflict. These are things that need to be dealt with before you can step into whatever comes next for you. Ooh, Aaron, how exciting. Very exciting, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you so much, friend, for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. That's very exciting. Full body chills. Love it. You know, it would be great if the replay could see the comments, because it looks like I'm just talking to a blank screen. Yes, the opposite of nesting. That's exactly right, Aaron. That's exactly right. All right, Cindy is up next. Cindy, then Kristen, Deb, Stacy, Nyasha, Carmen, Daniel, and Chelsea. Thank you so much, friend. Just because you haven't packed all your knickknacks is not a reason not to go. They'll be there when you get back. Hi, Cindy. I think it's great that you are after Aaron. I have an aunt, Cindy, so that's a synchronicity to me. Right? Satnam, Satnam, Satnam. Right? I get it. All right. You guys, you know what I want to manifest? I want to manifest that the Monroe Institute reaches out to me and invites me to their Creator Week. That's what I want to do. Well, thank you, friend. All right, Cindy. So if anybody knows anybody at the Monroe Institute, it'll happen one day. One day. I'll be here when you're ready, friend. All right, Cindy. All right, Cindy, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So, Cindy, when I look at your energy, the very first thing I see is a lot of armor. Okay, so usually, remembering, of course, my guides speak to me in metaphors and movie scenes. Usually when I see someone projecting to me with a lot of armor, it's an indication of feeling the need to protect themselves. And even if it isn't right now in the moment, it could have been built up over time. You have a lot of different pieces, as if a lot of different hurts cause different pieces. Like, ow, that hurt me, piece of armor. Ow, that hurt me, piece of armor, right? There's a lot of armor on, and your protector has this sword raised as if ready to protect you at all costs. I don't know. I have no commentary on your life previously. I have no idea what your childhood was like, but I can clearly see that your protector is very, very active. Underneath all of that armor, there's a very soft and beautiful heart that feels as if it takes a lot of beating, right? Like, for lack of a better term, like, I feel like it has a lot of bruises to it. Like, it's been punched and kicked a lot, right? And I don't necessarily know where this is coming from, and I don't see that it's super active right now, but it's like it never healed because it got covered up by all the armor, okay? When I look at you, I want you to understand you're a very strong empath, and this is why you feel things so deeply. However, it's also why you hold on to stuff so deeply, right? So part of learning to work with your empathy is learning to recognize that you can't hold on to these feelings. You have to find a way to let them out of your body. Physically, sometimes that can be done with somatic stretching, dancing, singing, axe throwing, you know, whatever. Just move your body physically and get the emotion out of your space. Because to me, when I look at your energy, it looks like it gets trapped physically, especially around the hips and lower back. Those days you wake up with sore hips and sore back, it's because you're holding on to something that doesn't necessarily belong to you. And because of the armor, I think it's harder for you to let it go because it feels vulnerable to you. I also want you to understand that you're okay to put your armor down. And I'm not asking you to lower all of your guard. I'm not asking you to take it all off. I am telling you that you have some good people around you, and it feels like these people care a lot about you and they want to see the best for you. And while I understand that the armor is a habitual thing, a thing of habit, I also understand that where you are, there's a lot of people who want nothing but the best for you, and it's safe and okay for you to start to take this armor down one piece at a time. Again, not telling you to throw caution to the wind and not telling you to just pretend everything is fine, but telling you to trust yourself enough that if you need to protect yourself, you will, but letting yourself to feel vulnerable is where expansion is going to happen for you because you have so much armor on. So anywhere you feel vulnerable, if you can allow yourself to sort of embrace and step into that and sort of overcome that vulnerability, you take steps into the next phase. And I think this is right where you are, is this turning point of let's take this armor off and let's take a few steps together, okay? Cindy, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said, literally confirming exactly what I just said. The wheel of fortune is spun around, facing in your direction, friend. The winds of change are pushing at your back. Right now, you're a little bit out of balance because you have all this heavy armor on, and they're telling me that you're neglecting the tender parts of yourself in order to protect yourself. But my guides want you to understand that it's okay to take down that armor. It's okay to sort of let go of that. And while I understand that this may be a little bit disruptive, this is a tower card, meaning that the tower you've built around you, the armor you have on, needs to come down in order for you to move forward. But when you let that come down, you might be surprised at just how well things can turn out for you, right? So they're asking you to please let your armor come down just a little bit. They do tell me that there's a lot around you that's caused this armor to be there, and it earned its place. But they're also telling me that you're better at making decisions for yourself, that you're a sovereign person and you can absolutely do this, that your voice matters. And as you start to take this armor down, you'll see physical representation in your atmosphere of things that come forward to confirm this. My guides tell me that a lot of this comes from when you were younger, and a feeling of I must protect myself because everyone else is going to hurt me, right? But you also do a lot for other people, and this is kind of puts you in a place of manipulation. Not that you're manipulating other people, but that you've been taught you have to give so much of yourself to make other people happy. That's part of that armor. So they're encouraging you to take a step out onto a new branch of your path. Take off some of that armor and step out into what comes next for you. It's okay to be vulnerable. Trust your instincts, but it's okay to let that armor down just a little bit so that you can take a few steps into what comes next for you. Cindy, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate you. I hope it was helpful, Cindy. Thank you so much. All right, Kristen, you are up next. Kristen is next. Thank you, Cindy. Kristen is next, and then Deb, Stacy, Nyasha, Carmen, Daniel, and Chelsea. Hi, Kristen. Thank you so much for your patience and your time and everything to everybody here. Thank you for this. I do my best to go as quickly as I can, but I gotta be thorough. You know what I'm saying? All right, Kristen. There's a lot of heat coming through from you already. I'm going to start sweating here in a second. All right, Kristen, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Whoo, drop your shoulders. And please give me permission to have access of your energy. Kristen, movement of energy produces heat, my friend. You have a lot of movement in your energy. A lot of movement. The first image they give me is of like a cyclone of energy. Now I'm looking at an outline of the human body. All the chakras are lit up and they're all sort of cycloning together like this. Your chakras should definitely be communicating. They're supposed to talk to each other. It's a circulation system for energy. However, yours are hella active right now. So when I see energy like this, sometimes it can make it very difficult to sleep, or it can give you very restless dreams, kind of crazy feeling dreams. It can give you a little bit of what feels like ADHD. You're bouncing your attention around from one thing to another. You can feel like there's a million projects you want to start and you can't, like, it's almost like you don't have enough time. Or Sometimes I see the total opposite. Sometimes I see people's energy totally short circuit because it's been overwhelmed, right? When that happens, you feel tired, you have brain fog, you can't function. It's usually one extreme or the other. Usually, not always, but usually, okay? So your energy is highly active. It's not broken. There's nothing wrong with it. This is a sign of great movement forward. When your energy is super, super active like this, it's kind of like the washer in the spin cycle. You're going through the last little part of pulling this energy together before you reach that projection state, right? Projection state is when it goes from inside to outside. When we are manifesting something, it starts in the 5D as a possibility. We focus on it, becomes a probability. Then we pull it down into our brain where we go into 4D. That's where time lives. Your brain is the only place that you can time travel to the past, to the future. So then you think about this idea, this possibility, probability that's been collapsed down in its way of function, and you go into the future and you think, what do I need to accomplish this? You go into the past and you think, have I ever done this before? And then through that processing in the 4D, you bring it down into the 3D through your inspired action. This is where you are right now, is you're taking it from here to here. So there's this sense of a bunch of inspiration or ideas trying to find their way to you. There's this feeling of don't get tangled up in the thought that it has to be just one when it can be many. This is an and universe, not an or universe. I have a lot of energy when I'm talking to you. Like I'm like, you know. I don't know if you do grounding or if you have a grounding mat, it might be helpful. Just FYI. Kristen, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. Friend, you are walking into a whole lot of knowledge about new information about you, seeing the truth about you. What comes next is the inspired action. So as these little inspirations are being dropped into your atmosphere, understand they are coming from a loving partnership with your higher self, and they are absolutely leading you to a sense of joyous occasion. But what comes next is you have to get over the self-doubt of following through with those little pieces of inspiration. If you can let go of your self-doubt or telling yourself it has to look, feel, and act a certain way for it to work, you can walk into a state of victory, a sense of accomplishment, an opening of the next phase of your awakening experience, that projection into the 3D. Your biggest problem is going to be your practicality and spending too much time in your brain, right? I don't know if you're worried about money. Most of us are right now, but the King of Pentacles comes forward to say, I've got your back. It's going to be okay. You might not win the lottery, but you'll have what you need when you need it. They're asking you to embrace this time of empowerment for yourself and not allow yourself to get too, bogged down, right? Don't get too bogged down. My guides tell me the more you reach for your enthusiasm, the faster you will move. That's how momentum is built. You are absolutely on a road of progress, and they're asking you to please do that thing where you follow through with choices, like your inspirations. It is your spiritual side that is reaching out to you and calling you forward. Kristen, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate it. You know what's really interesting? So on my video this morning, I talked about 3i Atlas and what I understand about 3i Atlas. This afternoon, there was a video released from Bashar, and he said exactly the same thing I did, you guys. I know we're not supposed to need validation, but can I just tell you how much I high-fived myself on that? Because if I'm picking up what he's picking up, then I feel pretty good about that. I feel pretty good about that. Kristen, thank you again. I appreciate you very, very much. Deb, you are next, my friend. So fun seeing you here on YouTube. I almost said TikTok. So fun seeing you here on YouTube. Deb is next. After Deb is Stacy, then Nyasha, then Carmen, Daniel, and Chelsea. My cards are getting so bent up again. So bent up. Do me a favor, you guys. If you have not liked this live, please do that. It does help me. Remember, I do offer private sessions. They can only be booked through my website, consciouslyerin.com. I have a school environment, a school community. Christine, you got that last spot, friend. My list is now closed. All right, Deb, come on down and say hello. I am so excited to read for you, friend. Deb. After Deb is Stacy, Nyasha, Carmen, Daniel, Chelsea, or Chelsea. I never know if it's Chelsea or Chelsea. And then Christine. So my list is full for today. Remember, your reading will be on my YouTube channel later. You can go back and watch it. So please do that because it can be a lot of information. All right, Deb. Come on down, friend. Deborah. It's your turn, Deborah. Come on down and get your reading. Hi, Deb. There you are. All right, Deb. You got a song. Like I totally sung a song for you. Oh my God. So cool. All right, here we go. All right, Deb, do me a favor. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop those shoulders. And please give me permission to have access to your energy. You're gonna make me nervous, Deborah. So as I come into your energy, Deb, it sounds lovely. It sounds smooth. It sounds like it's in momentum. The images I'm getting is of a person standing on the bow of a boat and moving across a body of water. There's no storms. There's like wind in the sails, but there's no storms. It's smooth sailing. So when I see a boat crossing a body of water, it's usually an indication of moving or going somewhere new, somewhere different, a new horizon of some kind. I can't see what the shoreline looks like. I feel like you're kind of in transit. You're in between is what it feels like. But when I look at the images, there's no storms, nothing like that. Water is an indication of emotion. And in the picture, there's definitely water, but it's not wild or crazy or torn up or anything. It's just there. You're smoothly sailing across that, right? I don't know specifically, like I said, I don't know where you're going, and I want you to understand you're kind of in this transitory state. So it's not that things aren't happening. I don't want you to feel like things aren't happening. It's just that because you're already in motion, you're already in momentum, that it can feel like things aren't happening because you can't necessarily see the shoreline. You have nothing to measure the progress against, I guess is the best way to explain that. But they're just showing me smooth sailing. I have the sense of being on the bow of the boat, looking out, knowing that there's land coming, some sort of new adventure. I feel like somewhere I've never been before. I have a little bit of a sense of excitement. It's very small though, almost like it's a little bit far off. So things might just be pretty normal for a hot minute, but I want you to understand they keep showing me the boat. So it's like you're in transit, you're on your way, you're in transit, you're on your way. Deb, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. I don't know if you think you're stuck or you're telling yourself you're stuck, but they're telling me that you have some clouded judgment about something. And because I keep getting the image of the boat, I feel like it must be about your journey. Like maybe you're telling yourself you're stuck or blocked, but you're not. They want to be very, very clear to you that that's just your practicality, your brain kind of hijacking things a little bit. They tell me that you're literally standing on the edge of potential. There's a whole lot happening. But what they want you to do is let go of that fear that you have, that loss of confidence. This is kind of that push on those triggers to let go of the feeling that there needs to be validation all the time. And this is you trusting the process, right? That's part of letting go of something in your root, right? That's part of allowing your root to expand into something greater. My guys want you to understand this is a lesson in self-sufficiency. Holy cow, Deb. This is a lesson in self-sufficiency. This is a lesson in you recognizing that you can sail this ship, you can stand on the bow of the ship, and you can trust that it's taking you where you need to go. And literally, look at that. You are moving into a new horizon, going somewhere you've never been before. And as long as you trust your intuition, you're going to get where you're going. I really want to tell you, I keep wanting to say over and over and over again that you're not stuck, you are moving, that you don't have anything to measure it by right now. So it can feel like you're stuck, but you're not. You're not at all stuck. Whew, Deb, I'm like pouring buckets right now. Whew, I don't know if you can even see it, but I am pouring buckets. Deb, thank you so very much. I am so glad that I got to read for you. It was fun to see you here on YouTube, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Holy cow, Deb. All right, Stacy, you are next. Stacy is next, then Nyasha. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I feel like I'm just butchering it. And then Carmen, Daniel, Chelsea, and Christine. Ah. All right. Stacy, come on down and say hello. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My list is full for today. Holy cow. Stacy, come on down and say hello. You are next, friend. Hi, Stacy. I see you. Goodness gracious. Goodness. All right, Stacy. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for waiting. Thank you to everyone on the list for waiting. Oh my goodness, so hot. I need like a little fan just to blow on me. Movement of energy causes heat, so. All right. All right, Stacy, here we go. Do me a favor, friend. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So Stacy, immediately when I come into your energy, the first thing I see is a person sitting in a chair with their eyes closed, and there's all these little lights floating around you. They kind of look like, if you imagine, a lot of little fireflies, okay? My mediumship is not super strong. It's not something I tend to practice very often. So when I tend to interact with past people, they look like fireflies. They're not showing me who they are. They're not giving me any information. They're not here for me. When I look at you, I see all these little fireflies around you. There are two instances that I can see this with people. Number one is if you have a proclivity to mediumship, meaning that your frequency is attuned to that general direction, and should you choose to go in that direction, it would be something natural for you. Or two, you've lost a lot of people in your life and they're kind of hanging out with you, wanting to keep you company. Sometimes it's both, right? I can't tell you that you have to embrace this, because I will never do that. But I will tell you that should you start tapping into your mediumship, that it would absolutely flow through you. I don't know what kind of medium you are. There are many different types, and I do understand that I feel like there's some attunement that needs to happen, like some practicing with my meditation, getting myself grounded, establishing a routine, giving, setting up boundaries with my guides. Like, there's some things that need to be done on the ground level. But I think if you did that and you opened the door, that you would actually be a very clear channel, a very clear medium. I don't know that it's necessarily limited to just past people, because there are some of these little energy balls that are blue, and normally I don't get that. So I'm not sure what the blue is representative of, but it's nothing bad. Nothing bad. Also understand, you don't have to do this. If it makes you uncomfortable, you certainly don't have to do this. You don't have to embrace anything you don't want. They're never going to intrude on your life. There are no evil spirits hiding in your closet trying to get you. These are spirits that recognize, this is energy that recognizes in your frequency signature that you have the ability to attune to their frequency. That's all it is. It doesn't mean you have to. It is 100% a choice. But should you choose to embrace this, I do feel like it would be an avenue for you that would flow very easily once you got the hang of it. But I think getting the hang of it may be a bit bumpy because there's some talking in your head that's keeping you out of there, all right? Stacy, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They want to remind you you're the one driving the car. So even though I'm telling you this, you don't have to embrace this. They do want you to understand that you have the ability to manifest this into your physical environment should you so choose to do that. In order to do this, you're going to have to let yourself go through a period of instability where you feel like you have to learn this. My guides want you to understand that just because things have disappointed you in the past does not mean they will disappoint you in the future, and that you are literally standing at the head of a new path. You're in a state of spiritual growth. What you do with it is up to you. You can embrace it or not. You can go with it or fight it. It's up to you. I'm just telling you what's available to you. My guides want you to understand that should you choose to embrace this, you have a lot of support around you, just like this. Your guides are building the scaffolding to support you in this. It will absolutely make you feel vulnerable, and it will absolutely make you feel overwhelmed. But if you can stick with it, you will eventually come around to a state of balance, and there is a feeling of opening the door to a lot of stuff. But you have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. And I don't know if you're worried about your family, if there's something going on with that, but my guides want you to understand your family's going to be okay, that things are working out, that what's happening in your life right now is causing a little bit of a rumble in your root just because it's trying to expand, but it's not nothing bad. It's just this feeling of wanting you to understand it's a possibility. Stacy, thank you very much, friend. I hope that was helpful. Thank you, thank you. You speak? Not sure what you mean you speak, but I'm glad that you do. All right. Nyasha, is that you? Oh, you speak with the elementals. Oh, that's the blue. That's the blue. Well, thank you for clearing that up because I had no idea what that blue color was. I had no idea what that was, Stacy. I am so glad that you cleared that up for me. Thank you for clearing that up. Thank you. That's like, ding, a light went up. I'm like, yes, yes, that's it. Oh, fantastic. All right. Nyasha, if I am saying your name incorrectly, I apologize. I know you had a question about a particular person. I don't do love readings, friend. I just don't. It's none of my business. I am happy to do a reading for you, and I will tell you your general energy and pull cards for you. But if you go into this with an expectation that it's going to have something to do with anyone other than you, it's not going to happen because I don't read anyone's energy but yours. And that's what's important. You shouldn't be basing your growth on someone else anyway. You know what I'm saying? So just want you to understand that. All right. It is a beautiful name. I hope I'm saying it relatively right because it is absolutely beautiful. All right, Nyasha. Here we go, friend. Do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So when I look at you, I want everyone to remember that my guides speak to me in movie scenes and metaphors. All right. So what I'm seeing is not necessarily literal, but a way to convey a message to me from my guides for you. The first thing I see when I come into your space is someone covered in a blanket. Usually this is an indication that someone's light is covered up, right? And I often see this with people who feel like they're being judged a lot, or they're being criticized a lot. I see this with people who come from backgrounds, families, or cultures that is very critical. And it kind of causes us to sort of cover up our light a little bit. And when that happens, it makes us reactive instead of responsive, right? We're worried that people are judging us because we've gotten so used to being judged all the time. It's like if you've gotten used to being burned, every time you see a flame, you're going to jerk back because you're afraid you're going to get burned. I understand that a lot of the things that you're reacting to are because of what you've been through, but I also want you to understand that the only way to get past those triggers is to identify them and integrate them. You cannot run from them. It's learning that you can stand in your own power, that there is always going to be someone who judges you. The power comes in if you give them permission to ruin your whole day with their judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people. The best example of this I saw, and I don't even know if this is a true story or not, but I saw somewhere that Robert Irwin was being criticized by somebody, and they said, well, you're just some guy who's writing on his father's name. And he just literally looked dead ass in the camera and goes, I don't care what you think. What is she going to say to that? Zero. There's zero she can say to that. She lost that argument with those few words. And there's this feeling of wanting you to do that. That you are going to continue, because law of attraction works on how you feel and not what you do, right? Law of attraction is going to continue to bring reflections to you of reasons for you to doubt yourself until you stop doubting yourself. And I know that that sounds very counterintuitive, that you need proof before you doubt, before you no longer doubt. But that's not how it works in the spiritual world. In the etheric side, it's 180 degrees different from the physical world. The physical world is show me proof and I'll believe you. So by nature, by definition of the universe, the spiritual side has to be believe me and I'll show you. So there's this feeling of wanting you to stop putting your power outside of yourself. Stop letting people have control over if you have a good or bad day based on their judgment that is flawed and ignorant and blind to a lot of things. You're a complex creature, and people are reducing you down to some little sauce. Why would you let them do that? And until you step into this, you're going to continue to draw those people to you because that's where you are resonating. So you have to choose to take a step outside of that. You have to choose to resonate with something better. You have to choose to say no. You have to choose yourself. You have to choose to put yourself first and stop feeding into these cyclical relationships of someone taking advantage and you coming back, and someone taking advantage and you coming back, right? And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm just telling you, friend, you are being manipulated a lot, but you know you are, and you're allowing yourself to do it. It's because you don't have any confidence in yourself. My guides are asking you to embrace this new, more confident role of who you are and step fully into who you are. When you do this, that's when you're going to start to see changes. But until then, you're going to continue to feel like you're by yourself because the only person that you need to focus on is you. My guides tell me that there's so much disharmony in your energy because you're giving your power away by the handful to people outside of you with their judgments. They're asking you to turn your attention back to you, to focus on you. What do you want? Your biggest problem is your self-doubt. It's your biggest problem. You have to stop doubting yourself. If you don't believe you, why would anyone else believe you? That's going to take some work. It's going to take you looking inside and figuring out, why do you do this to yourself? Why do you continue to follow into these things? What is it you have to believe about yourself to be true that would cause you to do this, right? When you do that, it opens you up to walking into a brighter future, but that future comes with transformation. You're going to have to heal those wounds that are very deeply registered down in your root chakra. But if you do, friend, that leads to transition. This is the death card telling me that the old version of you is dying away and a new version is doing its best to be born. But you have to stop doing the same old things and expecting new results. It doesn't work that way. Right? That's literally the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Nyasha, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I'm so sorry if I've been mispronouncing your name. I thank you for your waiting. I appreciate it. And I hope it was helpful, friend. Thank you. All right. Carmen, you are up next. Carmen is up next. Carmen is next. After Carmen is Daniel, Chelsea, and Christine. We have so many double letters today, you guys. That is such a high five from the universe. Double letters are something that really makes me happy for whatever reason. So when my guides are giving me like winks and high fives, when I get double letters on my list, that's always a wink and a high five. And I had a lot of those today, so it's super exciting. All right. Carmen. Hi, Carmen. I see you. Something with your hands, friend. I see a lot of music notes and hands. I don't know. All right, here we go, Carmen. Do me a favor. Take a nice big deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders. Please give me permission to have access to your energy. So Carmen, when I look at your energy, I see hands and music notes, but I don't know if it's music or the idea of sound, right? So a couple things here. When my guides show me hands, it's usually because they're showing me a healer, right? This is what I call the hands of the healer. They're presented to me like this. Chakras are open here. So your hand chakras are open as if that portal of energy healing is available. But I keep seeing these little like music notes in the air. I don't know if it's music or sound. I don't know if it's like sound healing, sound bowls, if it's actual music, singing. I don't know what it is, but there's this feeling of vibration in the air and utilizing this to facilitate healing in some way. The chakras in your hands are very active, but the healer's triangle looks like it hasn't fully connected. And I know that's a confusing statement, but to me, the healer's triangle is the connection between the third eye, the heart, and the hands. It creates a triangle, right? A right angle, a triangle. And it feels like there's it hasn't fully connected, as if maybe you started down this road or thought about it or had an interest in it and then backed off, or something in there. It's like it's trying to reach out, but there's something in there. And I don't know if it's this feeling of doubt, this feeling of I don't know. I just want you to understand, you have the hands of the healer. I don't know why I'm seeing the music notes. I'm speculating completely on the idea that it could be some sort of sound healing or music. They're not giving me any clarity on that. I understand that there's a connection between the third eye, the heart, and the hands that needs to happen in order to facilitate excellent healing between you and others. But I feel like there's something keeping it from connecting, as if you need to bring two pieces of something together. Like you have two different tools and they want you to put them together or something like that. And it feels like once you put those two pieces together, an end connects and something happens. Okay, so the image they're literally showing me is when Doc from Back to the Future makes the plug and the sparks go off and Marty goes back to the future, right? Like that's what they're showing me. Like there's two ends of something that need to come together. And when they do, it creates a spark of some kind. And this leads down a road of somewhere. I don't know exactly what it is, but all right, Carmen, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They want you to understand that you're being really hard on yourself about something. It's almost like you're trying to work something out, but they're telling you you have the pieces in each hand, but you're only looking at one hand at a time, and you got to bring them together, and there's a sense of you're beating yourself up or being too hard on yourself about this. It's only fostering a sense of self-defeat in your energy. So instead, they're asking you to back out a little bit, not be so zoomed in. Instead of only looking here, zoom out and look here. right? There's this feeling of wanting you to let go of trying to control it or shrink it down. This may require you to step a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but once you start going after those inspired pursuits, friend, look at this, two ends of something coming together. This reconciliation card, this Five of Swords, is about bringing two things together and finding a solution, right? My guides want you to understand that your dreams and desires are a lot closer at hand than you might think they are, than you perceive they are, because you're trying to find a solution to something, but you have the pieces in your hands. Right? They tell me that you've overwhelmed yourself. It's like trying to put the IKEA desk together. You can't find that stupid screw K, and the longer you sit there, the worse it'll be, and you'll never be able to find it. You have to get up, walk away, and reset. Right? That's kind of what they're telling you. They said you've gotten two in your head about this. However, they want you to understand that as you start putting these things together, that inner strength that's going to help build the foundation of this really starts to build things up, and it brings forward a deep connection to that third eye. My guides also want you to understand that you are calling together the components for a chosen family, or the pieces you need to help support you in your growth. Again, that feeling of bringing two ends together, two pieces together. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Carmen, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate you, and I hope it was helpful. So are the live readings on specific days and times? They are not currently scheduled very far out, because I don't necessarily know when I'm going to be able to be on here. I'm trying to create a schedule, a better schedule. We'll see if I can get there. Well, thank you, friend. I appreciate it. Hello, King Ghost. Fantastic, Carmen. I appreciate you. All right, I'm looking for Daniel. Daniel's up next, then Chelsea, and then Christine. Daniel. I'm very curious to see. Oh, is that you, Phoenix 111? Oh, no. There you are, Daniel. I see you. Dano. I got you. All right. I'm very curious to see how this affects my sleep tonight. I don't know if I'll be super wound up or if I'll be really, really tired. Usually after my morning lives, I'm wiped. Like I have to go lay down for an hour. So we'll see. I'm curious. I'm curious how it goes. All right, Dan. Do you go by Dan? All right, Daniel, here we go. All right, friend, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down to your toes. And release. Drop your shoulders, and please give me permission to have access to your energy. So Dan, when I come into your energy, the very first, sorry if you don't like Dan, I apologize, it's habit. Daniel, when I come into your energy, the very first thing I see is, so in Chicago, we have two baseball teams, the Sox and the Cubs, and it's a very common thing to see around the city, a banner that says a house divided. And I have a lightning strike down the middle, and the Cubs on one side and the Sox on the other side, right? When I look at you, they give me that banner, a house divided, with the lightning strike down the center. It feels to me like you have two sides almost, and not in a bad way, but as if you have a side that's forward facing most of the time, that takes care of the obligations, that fulfills the roles, that carries the weight, that does the chores, that's the stuff. And I don't want to call it a mask, because that feels wrong, because I don't feel like you're faking it. I feel like that's part of who you are, but this is a piece of you that you put forward most of the time. But on the rotated side of that is this very connected, flowy, soft energy that has a good grounded base. I feel like you have pretty well established connection, even if you maybe don't always understand it. This may show up with things like synchronicities. I feel like they're showing me little things in your energy that show up as a result of your connection. But again, because you have this other version that's forward focused, like they keep showing me a rotating door, right? Because you have this other version that's sort of forward focused. It's almost like this is the expected version. They show me a name tag here, so like this is the expected version. But you have this other side, this other half that's very soft, connected, flowy, energetic, all the good yummies, right? I also feel like there's some weight that you are, for lack of a better term, dragging behind you that I think you're ready to let go of. And I feel like this almost feels like guilt. It feels like, and I don't know how to phrase it. It's like, so it's kind of like the feeling I have sometimes when I think about my kids, right? Like I think back to when they were little and all the times I told them that I didn't want to play, and all the times I didn't go to their concert or their show or their sporting event or whatever. And I look back at those times and I kind of regret those times, and I feel sad about it a little bit. And it's that kind of feeling, not regret over, oh my God, I made a huge mistake, but kind of this whimsical sad, I wish I would have done better. And I feel like you're dragging this behind you, and it's kind of weighing you down a little bit. I feel like you're being asked to let that go. And I also feel like you're being asked to trust that you can show this other side of yourself to more people than you do, or you can put it out more prominently than you do. Yes, I think there might be some people who get rubbed the wrong way with it, but who cares? This feels like you are someone who has this balance, but you've rotated that other side out more often. And I don't know if that's a mechanism of necessity, or if it's because something else came along and reminded you of the soft side. I can't tell which one it is, but either way, both sides are there. And I feel like if you rotated that softer side out a little bit more and let go of whatever this is that you're carrying around with you, that it would help a little bit. You might feel a little bit more lined up, a little bit more movement forward. And I also feel like so they're showing me an office and a phone ringing, and I feel like there's something at your professional job, something with your professional, as if someone calls you and it feels like there's an unexpected opportunity. And I feel like saying at first it's like a covert opportunity. It's like something that maybe you don't want to you don't prefer to happen, but it's going to happen anyway. And when it does, it ends up being way better than you expected. And I'm struggling to see all of it, but that's what it feels like. So I just wanted to put that out there, all right? So Daniel, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. My guides want you to understand they understand why you're hesitant to put this side of yourself out there, but they want you to know that when you do, that's when you're going to feel the most aligned with who you are and where you want to go. It also opens the door to a brighter future, but that brighter future is filled with transformation, putting that softer side out, the butterflies, right? Putting that softer side out there. There is an opportunity for you to walk into a joyous occasion. This has a sense of celebration to it. Again, like I said, a feeling of a phone call that maybe on the surface looks one way but turns out to be another, and it feels really good. My guides also want to acknowledge that you might be feeling a little bit restless in your energy, and this is because you are simply closer to where you're going than where you are, and you can feel the difference in your energy, the dissonance. Doesn't mean you're behind or anything like that. It's just because you're close to whatever the next step is, right? My guide wants you to understand that you're very balanced in your heart space, and they're asking you to embrace this as this new role comes forward. This card is about roles, right? This card is about embracing a new role. So when I'm telling you that I feel like if you put this version out there and someone calls you, it's like a new role, a new name tag comes forward. I wish I could see it better. Literally telling you to make a good decision with this. Think about it. Think about it before you move, before you say no, because it's an opportunity to allow yourself to be more authentically who you are. It is a world full of potential for you, whatever this opportunity is, and you will have all the support you need when you decide to take this step. You just have to release that feeling that you have to keep carrying around what you're carrying, and putting this other version forward, and it leads to a brighter future, a new beginning, something different. I mean, it's all these good feels, and I really feel like I want you to embrace this other side of yourself. And I don't feel like you hide it. I don't feel like you're hiding it. I just feel like there's this feeling of necessity to put it out on this side when they want you to bring the soft one around. I feel like I'm trying to describe something that I know you cannot see, but I don't know how else to describe it. Daniel, thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. I hope it was helpful, friend. Well, thank you. Daniel, I'm so excited that I got to read for you. Thank you for your patience, friend. I am so glad I was here for you. Thank you, Daniel. All right, Chelsea, you are up next. Come on down and say hello. Chelsea's next, and then Christine will end our evening. I am so excited. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. It is incredibly appreciated. Do me a favor and like this live. If you feel so called to go check out my school classroom, please do that. The single greatest thing you can do for me as a creator is to watch my videos. Share them out and like them, because that's where YouTube sends me the money. You know, all you have to do is watch it. You don't have to send anything. If you watch it, it helps me. It allows me to be able to do this and not have to work a big girl job during the day, which would take all my energy, and I would not be able to do this. Chelsea, come on down. You're up, friend. Chelsea is up, and then Christine finishes out the list. 2 C's to finish out the list. So we had double M's. We had, we had Mary and Melissa, and then Janice and Janet. And then we have Chelsea and Christine. 3 sets of double digits, 3 sets of double letters. It's always a high five. Chelsea, say hello, say hello, say hello, Chelsea. Chelsea, Chelsea. Come on down, Chelsea. Oh, well, I'm so glad you're here. All right, I don't know where Chelsea is. So we're going to put a pin in Chelsea. I'm going to do Christine's reading, and then hopefully Chelsea will be back by then. Christine, are you here? Chelsea, if you're here, make sure you say something. If your display name is not Chelsea, please make sure you tell me. Unfortunately, I'm not that kind of psychic. You know, I'm not that kind of psychic. Boy, we are getting some release energy right now, you guys. Whoo, I was wondering what I was hearing. It's Christine. Hello, Christine. Christine Noel, I see you. I am the Schumann lady, your friendly neighborhood energy alchemist. You know, I've seen a lot of people using that lately. Friendly neighborhood something. The best thing I can do to explain how my readings work is do a reading, so hang out. All right, Christine, here we go. You have a lot of purple in your energy. All right, Christine, do me a favor. Take a nice, big, deep breath in all the way down your toes. And release. Drop those shoulders. Please give me permission to have access to your energy. Gosh, that heat coming in. Boy, you guys been bringing the heat today. Christine, when I tap into your energy, the very first thing I see is a lot of purple. It's all throughout your biofield. Your biofield is your aura, all right? Your biofield fluctuates depending on the situation you find yourself in, the environment you're in, the path that you're on, how focused you are, your brainwave state. All of these things affect your biofield. What I am looking at in your biofield is a steady stream of purple. This purple is coming from your crown and is an indication that your crown is nice and open. I do not typically see people who walk around with an open crown because it would be overwhelming to them. Usually when I see this with someone, it's an indication of a good, strong connection, a channel of sorts, right? I don't know if you recognize that you're channeling, but you do. Those little inspirations you get, that voice in your head, the conversation you have with yourself, whatever, however it is manifesting you, friend, are channeling. Who are you channeling? I don't know, and I don't know that it necessarily matters. Something from the etheric realm, if the name or the designation is important, it will reveal itself to you. I think you're being asked to trust this. I feel like this has been going on for a little bit, and I actually feel like it's getting louder, and it feels to me like they're telling me they keep turning the volume up, but they can't make you listen, right? So there's this feeling of wanting you to embrace this. What channeling looks like for you may be different than what it looks like for me or anyone else. I'm literally pouring sweat. And the idea here is don't let your comparison hold you up. Comparison is the sneak thief of joy. If you compare yourself to anyone else, you will always feel like you're falling short. Why? Because your signature frequency is unique and individual to you, like a thumbprint. If you are trying to fit someone else's thumbprint, it's not going to work. It'll feel off kilter. It'll feel out of balance, and that's exactly what you're going to feel. I don't know how the best way for you to tap into your channeling is. I don't know if it's through writing, through singing, through talking, through dancing. I don't know, but it's there. And the information that you receive and you translate helps people vibrationally when you offer that. I am not advocating for you to do anything that you are uncomfortable with. I'm not telling you to put anything out there that you don't want to, but I am asking you to at least believe yourself when you receive it. Write it down, capture it, do something with it. Your channel is telling me it's been open for a while. Like they're literally doing like, that's what they're doing. Like they're waiting on you. Christine, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. My guides want you to understand that your reluctance to tap into this is what's actually holding you back from that feeling of moving forward, and I don't know why you're holding yourself back from it. Maybe you've been manipulated into thinking that this isn't true for you or that it's bad or evil in some way, and they want you to know that that's just hogwash. So the restlessness that you feel is because you have this vibration around you that's waiting for you to embrace it. It's literally opening a whole new role for you. But until you embrace it, you're going to stand where you are. They want you to understand this is guided, you are supported, and it is your higher self that is leading the way with this. And whatever it is that you're channeling, it's like whatever it is doesn't feel that the name of it is necessary for me to know. I feel like you'll understand it when you need to, and I don't necessarily feel like the name is necessarily very important. They do tell me that when you start to tap into this channel, that's when you start to see changes in your life. This is the death card telling me the old version of you is dying away and a new version is rising to the surface. You are literally manifesting this. But you have to let go of the self-defeat that you're holding on to that tells you you cannot do this or that you're not doing it right. You have to step outside of your comfort zone, and you have to face up to those things that you tell yourself are wrong. Just because it doesn't look the same way for you as it does someone else doesn't mean it's wrong. My guides tell me this is where you're going to find your balance and your greatest sense of clarity, and feel like you're actually making progress on the path. You're on the path. Stop looking for it. You're looking like this, and you gotta look like this. You know? Look where you are. Christine, thank you, friend. I hope that was helpful. Did Chelsea ever come back? Christine, thank you so much. So your aura color changes moment to moment based on your focus, what you're surrounded by, and everything else. So I don't necessarily read auras because I can tell you one thing now and it'll be different in a minute. So I'm not, and that's been proven by science. Your biofield fluctuates constantly, just FYI. Chelsea, Christine, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Chelsea, are you here? When will you meet your life partner? I don't have that information, but I tell you right now, as long as you feel like you need someone to complete you, you will not meet them, because all you're going to draw to you is other people who feel like they need someone to complete them, and that's not the role of a life partner. Life partner is there to support and facilitate, not complete. My list is unfortunately closed. I'm ready to head out. I'm looking for Chelsea. I never got to do Chelsea's reading. She paid for a reading, and I feel terrible that she's not here. I will refund her, but I'm trying to give her another few minutes. You guys, it has been absolutely a blast. Like a mom, thank you so much for all of your help. I don't know if Chrissy is still here or not. No, I do not do biofield healing from Eileen. I actually have a personal biofield healer that I carry around with me. This is a frequency emitter with over 100 different frequencies that I can choose from. I physically can feel this in my body. If I set it on my body, my whole body will vibrate. This has gotten rid of my headache, helped me sleep better, tap deeper into meditation. It's done a lot for me. If you want to check it out, there's a link for it in the description of this video. I can only tell you my personal experience, and for me, it has been very, very helpful. So that's how I do my biofield tuning, is all day long with one of these. All right, Chelsea. I am looking for Chelsea. Come on down, Chelsea. This is last call. Is it like Rife? I don't know what Rife is. This is what it is. It's called the Aha Halo, Aha Harmony. And I'll show you. So it's turned off right now, but so you can these are all frequencies that spread out into your biofield and help you tune yourself. So, all right. Chelsea, are you here, Chelsea? Binaural beats are great. They're great. This is something I can carry around with me. It doesn't emit a frequency that people can hear. It doesn't emit a sound. You can ask Jake. I can't promise that I'm gonna answer. You can ask. What is my favorite frequency, and did you test if it emits the right frequency? So I did not test that it emits the right frequency because I am not educated enough to know all those frequencies. The favorite frequency was the head discomfort, the headache, because I have chronic migraines, and anyone who's ever watched any of my videos will know this. They are absolutely debilitating when I get them. I get bloody noses, blurry vision, ringing ears, vomiting. I cannot function, and I get them quite frequently, and there's no medication that I can take that gets rid of it. This got rid of my headache. This got rid of my headache. So the fact that this got rid of my headache, it's worth millions to me. It's worth millions to me. I, again, can only tell you my experience, but how do you book a live reading? So the way to book a live reading is when I am live, you're going to send $25 via Venmo or PayPal, and that gets you on the list. I will tell you that when I'm live, my list tends to fill up very quickly. I only have a certain amount that I do to protect my own energy. So you want to get here as early as you can. So that's how you get on the list. Someone else asked a question. How did I break out of the 9-to-5? Friend, it was a lot of trust, and it took time. Right? So before I was doing this full time, I was working at a university in the simulation healthcare department, designing simulations, basically teaching at a university 9-to-5. Actually, more like 50 hours a week, making not enough money. And I had a lot of fear about leaving that job behind because I was leaving a job that I had a lot of clout. I have a lot of letters after my name. I have a lot of education, and this is kind of gave me validation having the job. So what I did was, over the course of a year, I slowly started taking vacation days and working on my spiritual stuff and seeing what it would feel like. And over the course of a year, I started to recognize that I could do this. I just have to be mindful about it. And I slowly built it up. And then after a year, I stepped right into the next phase. I do offer private readings. 30, 50, and 20-minute sessions are available. Only through my website. I have 2 free courses available through my school platform. They're free. One is on the Schumann and one is on everyday energy. They're both free. All right, I swear I got a payment from someone named Chelsea. I don't know where she went, but all right. The school platform is under Consciously Erin, but there's a link to it in the notes to this video if you want to check that out. My website is in my bio. It's consciouslyerin.com. I have the same name and everything across all platforms. Every single one, it's spelled exactly the same. No letters, no missing spaces, no weird characters. There's a lot of scam accounts. If you check the notes for this, there's a lot of links there. I'm going to get off of here, you guys. I don't know where Chelsea went, but thank you so much for all of your time and for your support. Again, the best way you can support me as a creator is just watch my videos, share them with people. If you have retreats that you want someone to come do something for, let me know. I'm here. I hope you guys have a great night. Remember, the replay will be on my YouTube channel as soon as it processes here. It takes it a few minutes, but I will see you guys another time. Thank you again. I appreciate everything. Like a mom, thank you for all of your help. Jesus does love me. Stop judging me. I hope you have a great day.